And I'd like to welcome everyone to our brand new advanced training for today, which is more apps for Black History Month. And thanks so much for attending our session today. The WildTech DC Senior Digital Equity Program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on information, any apps or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thanks so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you not see me, hear me, or see the screen, please let me know in the chat. I would appreciate that. Let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones silenced and to keep others and ourselves in mind. And as always, make sure you take notes and or screenshots so you can review the information for later on. But this session will also be posted on our YouTube channel as always, so make sure you review it for any additional information. Okay, so for our agenda today, and it's not 1, 2, 3, it's going to be all mixed together. So lots of fun. We're going to be watching some videos, have some fun facts and more. We're navigating 3 apps today, African-American sites, Black History quiz, and a Bet You Didn't Know app. And of course, last but not least, we're going to have our overview and discussion. So talking about why is learning and embracing Black History Month is so important. So first up, I have some videos for you all. So this one is about Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month. So I hope you guys learned something new and enjoy our session today. So here we go.
When we woke up this morning, the sun was shining. It was a whole new month. We're in February, and February 1st marks the beginning of Black History Month. And to prime you for Channel 13's month-long celebration of African Americans' contributions to our country, we want to share the history of this month of observance.
Yes, it all starts with Dr. Carter G. Woodson. His lifetime of work and love of history, his culture, and Black people's progress in this country have granted him the title, the father of Black History Month.
Dr. Woodson was a teacher, he was a scholar, he was a historian, and he was an individual who saw that there wasn't recognition of Black history.
After graduating from Harvard in 1912, Dr. Carter G. Woodson saw the lack of Black history being taught and that Black achievements were many times not included. In 1915, he started the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, an organization which still exists today but is known as ASALH. Dr. Woodson wanted to not only show images and share stories of African Americans that were downtrodden in the 1910s and 20s, but also the achievements and accomplishments of a race. To do this, the Journal of Negro History was created to provide knowledge and inspire progress for Black people in 1916. Woodson spent the next several years publishing from his home office in D.C. and promoting that history through teaching, public lectures, and his writings. And in 1926, Woodson's first Negro History Week was held in February.
He established it in February to coincide with the birthdays of President Abraham Lincoln and the scholar, the writer, the orator, Frederick Douglass.
2 figures whose actions greatly impacted African Americans. Dr. Woodson's goal was always to grow beyond a week, but for the accomplishments of Black people to be recognized every day of the year.
These are things that have been accomplished in spite of, and these are things that we can recognize and hopefully also provide some type of inspiration.
But it wasn't until the 1960s where calls for extending Black History Week into a month-long celebration became more prominent. College students were a big part of that influence, but ASALH pushed for federal recognition. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially established Black History Month for our nation.
The past, it helps us to understand what's taking place today. It helps us to understand the present, but it also helps to give us inspiration. It is so wonderful to learn about people who were able to accomplish so much. And you can say to yourself, wow, this person inspires me. What a great story.
Since the mid 1970s, every American president, Democrat and Republican, has issued proclamations highlighting Black History Month, pushing our nation one step closer to recognizing Black history is American history and serves as inspiration to all.
We share history. So when I'm sharing Black history, I'm sharing Indiana history, and I'm sharing the history of this country.
So it is Black History Month, but we celebrate the accomplishments of Black people and other cultures all year long here at Channel 13. And one of the most amazing things about researching how Black History Month has evolved and is seeing Dr. Woodson's work still exist and still thriving today. So his home is a national park. His journals are still in publication. His contributions just still enriching Americans' lives.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
cool.
so great to learn. I appreciate that history lesson. Thank you so
you.
much to kind of figure out how all this came together.
How did we get here?
Yeah. This is an important lesson.
Thank you.
Wow, again, learning more about Carter G. Woodson. Anyone would like to share any thoughts on the video? You could raise your hand. I could hear a thought or two for our next one. Any thoughts on the video? I did share the link to that organization in the chat, so please check it out. I was not aware of that until watching this video. Any thoughts or comments on the video today? And you can raise your hand. Love to hear it. You can also unmute yourself if you'd like. Any thoughts on this video? The next one definitely goes along with it as well. So
This is Gracie. I learned that Mr. Woodson, he chose February because of Lincoln's birthday and Frederick Douglass. Those two people greatly influenced him, you know, to set up Black History Month in the date of their birth, and that influenced him as to use that month. And also I relearned, I already knew, but I probably forgot, that in 76, Ford made it official Black History Month. Those are two things that kind of stood out, other than, you know, just Mr. Woodson's personal life and so forth.
Thank you so much for that, Gracie. I really appreciate that. And once again, I did put the link to the organization here in the chat. So if I go to the chat and tap on it just like this, you're able to quickly access the website. So it's asalh.org. And you can just see more information about the organization. So thank you so much, Gracie.
Thank you.
Alex.
Yeah.
Also, there are two schools in Northeast that are named after him. A junior high and a high school.
Yeah, Woodson. Yes. I thank you for bringing that up. A lot of our schools are named after different folks and different people, like Duke Ellington. I love that. Now it's Jackson Reed High School. It used to be Wilson. So yes, it's good for these for the names to live on, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Thank
the
you so
Jackson Reed, Miss Jackson was the first Black teacher at Wilson High School.
Oh wow, thank you.
And Vincent Reed was the first Black principal there. And that's why they named the school after those two people.
Thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate that. And going to this website, wow, as you guys can see, their contact is actually in DC. So asalh.org. You can contact them. They're on 301 Rhode Island Avenue Northwest. They have a phone number right here, their mission. And again, you can go on their YouTube channel and see more information about the organization. So ASALH, the founders of Black History Month. Amazing. Did not know that. So it was so interesting to learn. Our next video for today, before our app, second. I think this is quite a poignant video. Why isn't there a White History Month? And we've talked about that in the past, and we're definitely not afraid to again have differing opinions and to just see from each point of view. So I think this video is very interesting, and would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. So this one is titled, Why Isn't There a White History Month?
It's sad that we are divided because of our race. If we want to be quote unquote united, why is there a Black History Month? If there were a White History Month, that would be considered racist. Hey, there's a predominant culture. The predominant culture in America is European and white. So let's be realistic. I took white history in school all the time. Let's be real. Really? Seriously? I took it all the time. There are things about Black culture that I guarantee you, many of you never were exposed to in school, even if you had diverse kids in your school. So what I would say to that is, I think we need to have, gosh, I mean, there's so many. I mean,
so you can't even name any. You're not,
I can name. There's a lot. I'm trying to think of where I start. Queen Nzinga. Do you know who Queen Nzinga was?
No.
Do you know that she was a leader that the Dutch didn't want to give place to? And the way that they did that is they ruled her out and didn't give her a chair. She had so much authority over people that on cue they actually went down on their fours and became a chair for her so she could engage in negotiations with the Dutch people. How many people heard about that in school? A woman who was a leader. So there's a lot of things like this. So what I would say is, I think the reason we have Black History Month is because there's clearly been an underrepresentation and an undervaluing of Black culture in American history. And I think there's a place for elevating the value of that. So I'm not anti that. I'm also not anti learning about any other culture. I want to know about Hispanic culture because my wife is Hispanic. I want to know about Asian culture because these are all the cultures that make up America. But the truth is, in school, we don't get that lens. We tend to get a Eurocentric lens of our American history.
So what happens if someone does the white entertainment channel? Other than watching people who can't dance, it would be a very boring one to watch.
I don't have a problem with that. I think honestly, one of the places that I really want to go and haven't gone yet is I want to go to Europe. You know, a lot of the books that I read, I am fascinated with European history, and I'm not fascinated with it just because of the slave. I'm fascinated with it. There's incredible parts of European history that need to be celebrated and valued and deeply shape who we are and who we think about. It certainly shapes our government and all those kinds of things. So I'm not anti any of that.
I really like that video because they put a, kind of a funny spin on it, but a lot of the points that he was making is very, very true. I just looked up the queen that he mentioned, and that was an actual queen, Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba. So she was a Southwest African ruler. I did not learn about that in school, but what I will say, in 10th grade, I transferred to another high school, and basically for that, my 10th grade, I learned about many different parts of Black history. I actually had a textbook, and it was primarily focused on Black history. So I was able to read things like Du Bois books and reading different transcripts and papers from that time, and just learning that perspective. And I think that really shaped kind of who I am today, because, we are a melting pot. DC is, has many different cultures. America is so diverse. So, because I think it's in everyone's best interest to learn about all of the different cultures. And so that way we can be more, not civil, but be more understanding, have more empathy and sympathy, and just have an understanding of different peoples, because, everyone's different. So, I think I really like that video because it's not anti anything, but there is definitely an underrepresentation in many cultures in our history and what we're taught, generally from as a kid to an adult. So there are things like, there's Women's History Month, there's Arab American Heritage Month in April, there's Asian American and Pacific Islander Month in May. July, Disability Pride Month. Didn't know that. Latinx Heritage Month in September. So these months are not to anti anything, they're just to embrace different folks. So any quick thoughts on this video before our next section? But again, I hope you guys enjoyed something different. Hi, Anne. Hope you're well.
I'm doing better. Thank you. I knew about Princess Nzinga because when my first granddaughter was born, um, we were looking for names, and there was a little girl in my class, and her mother had called her Nzinga, but it wasn't spelled the same way. We were looking, and we found that story about Princess Nzinga, so we spell her name the way the Princess Nzinga spelled hers. So she's our little princess, our queen.
Wow, okay, that's good. Again, I didn't know about her before this video, so yes, it was really interesting to look her up. History is, there's so much, so we gotta, just learn as much as we can. Anyone else would like to comment on the video that was just played? Any other thoughts? I think it does a really good job of talking about representation and just showcasing different cultures is so important because there's something to learn from every different person. So I really like this video. Okay, thank you all so much. Our next section for our session today is our
It's sad that we are divided.
So first up is Black History Quiz. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but has multiple choice, picture, and true or false questions. It's an excellent trivia game for inspiration about people, movements, and pioneers. Okay, yes, Yvonne, I did forget to ask about the unmutes, but yes, please raise your hand as well. So if that doesn't work, raise your hand because sometimes I actually switch it. So Yvonne, did you have something to share really quick about the video?
Yes, I was just going to say that I like the gentleman's response to why we don't have white history, because we've all had white history. It's because in our schools, it's been Eurocentric. So there's no need to have a special month set aside. And I'd like to say that during the Grammys the other night, I liked what Alicia Keys said. She said, diversity is not a threat, it's a gift. And I thought that was a beautiful quote. And she was referring to what they call now DEI, which I don't like. I think it should be called civil rights because that says what it's all about.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. I love that quote, Yvonne. Thank you so much for that. I definitely embrace that as well. And I actually worked under a DEI when I was working at one of the museums here in DC. And I mean, all it stands for is diversity, equity, inclusion, and DEAI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. So I mean, however we call it, yes, it should be a right. It should be just something that we all should have and understand and things of that nature. And unfortunately, not everyone does to the same degree. So, there's always going to be a uphill battle, but just by us talking about it and embracing it, we mitigate that, discomfort just a little bit because we know we're in this together,
Yes, thank you, Alex. That was a good film. I liked it.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so for our Black History Quiz, again, you guys are going to be able to unmute and answer different questions, etc., and have fun and just test your knowledge. So I'm going to go to the App Store right here, and I'm going to hit the search button right here on the top, that magnifying glass, and I'm going to click on the search bar, or you can hit that magnifying glass again, and then the keyboard will come up. So this is really called Black History Quiz. Very simple, but I learned quite a bit checking this app out. So Black History Quiz is right here. There's many other ones, you guys. I mean, if you just search Black History, when you guys are on the App Store or any topic, there's going to be like hundreds of apps. Some we talked about, some we haven't. But it's amazing. I love this Kinfolk one. That one was really interesting. But many of these look very, very fun. So please make sure you check these out. But this one is called Black History Quiz. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hit the share button right here and copy the link and share it with you all in the chat. okay? So let's see, here's Zoom, here's the chat. So there's the app. Make sure you tap on it and access it as well. But again, every time we have an advanced session, we talk about some apps. They're also found in our daily email. So you can download it and check it out even before we have our session. So you can ask questions about it specifically if you would like. So every Monday when we have an advanced session, make sure you check out our daily email for the Wednesday session and check out some of those apps, okay? So let's go into this app. I'm gonna have it vertical right here. Again, you could have it either way, but I'm gonna have it vertical and expand it, again, using the zoom in, zoom out button. Some apps have it right here. But look, multiple choice, picture quiz, true or false. So let's do true or false. So you guys can unmute and, or yeah, as you'd like. And let's see how well we can do. So this one is jazz composer Jelly Roll Morton was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. Is that true or false? Again, you guys can unmute and share.
True.
True.
Okay, I hear 2 trues.
True.
Any other?
True.
Okay, I'm hearing 3 trues. Oh, wow, there's the timer. Didn't know that, so that's interesting. I see the timers here at the bottom. Okay, poet, novelist, playwright, and composer Langston Hughes wrote his first poems in middle school. So true or false?
True. True. I think you started young.
Yeah.
Don't know that one.
Oh wow, yeah, it's false.
Yeah. Oh.
They don't give a, unfortunately they don't give a reason why, but hey, it's something new to learn. Educator and surgeon Dr. Charles Drew founded the first blood bank, saving thousands of lives during World War I. True or false?
True. He did blood, but yeah.
Okay, I'm hearing majority trues. No, it's false.
False. It's false.
Oh.
All right, one more. Okay, Madam C.J. Walker became the USA's first African-American millionaire by building a cosmetics empire.
True. And that's true.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so that's the true or false. Hey, learning something new. Now let's do the picture quiz. Who is this? Again, they're going to reveal pictures. So who is that? Who is that person?
Michelle Obama. Michelle.
Correct. Again, I'm just taking the.
By Nick.
I got you, Gracie. Okay, here's the next one. Again, I'll take the first response. So.
Ralph Abernathy.
Ralph Abernathy. Who is Ralph Abernathy? What is he known for?
He's known as one of the leaders of Martin Luther
King. I know in the marches.
Okay, there was 2 folks speaking at the same time.
Mm-hmm. He was always accompanying Martin Luther King when he walked. That's true. You always saw his face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I didn't know that. All right. There's another one.
Paul Robeson.
You said Paul Robeson.
That's James Baldwin. James Baldwin.
Okay, it is James Baldwin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. Who is I didn't know who Paul was. So that was interesting to learn. Who is this person?
Mary Bethune.
Yeah.
Bethune.
Okay, yes, I've heard of her before. I've heard of Bethune-Cookman School, I think.
Yeah.
So, okay, and one more. So this is our multiple choice. Okay, the first American to win 4 gold Olympic medals.
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens.
Good. The first African American manager in Major League Baseball.
Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson.
Yeah, we learned about Willie Mays yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Baseball great Jackie Robinson was a U.S. Army lieutenant and a former college football great at.
I forgot where he went to school.
SMU. Is it? I'm wrong.
Say that again?
UCLA.
SMU? No.
Okay. We could try again.
UCLA?
Yes, UCLA. Uh-huh. This award-winning Olympic athlete was the first American woman to participate in 5 different Olympiads.
Florence Griffith.
Joyner. Jackie Joyner.
Okay.
Jackie Kersey.
Jackie Kersey then.
Kersey. Oh no. Oh my goodness.
Gabby Douglas.
Gabby Douglas.
Gabby Douglas. Okay.
I haven't heard of
man.
I haven't heard of them before, so it is
I
really
never heard
nice.
of him
I
either.
thought it was a man.
Yeah. All right, and let's do one more. Louis Satchmo Armstrong, one of the most popular jazz musicians of all time, was born in
New Orleans,
Louisiana.
All right, y'all got that on point. So that is the Black History Quiz app. Again, I hope you guys like it and take a chance to download it and learn something new. I learned quite a bit in those 5 minutes. I hope you all did the same as well.
And I learned that Dr. Drew founded the blood banks used in World War II, not World War I. That's why we got it wrong.
Oh, I know that's
right. Plasma thing and everything, but
yeah. So
that's those quiz things for you. They throw you off.
They do.
There's also elementary.
That was sneaky.
After him.
Yeah, there is.
Drew Elementary. My children attended when they were.
Oh, that's what a name. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and I worked there too.
And the bridge by the Brookline subway, the red line, the bridge going over the road there is called the Drew Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, you guys, for participating. That was a lot of fun. Let's look at some more things. So, did you know for many months or for many things, in life, there's going to be a theme. So every year there's a new Black History Month theme. And this video is actually from one of our DC News channels. So looking forward to learning more about the theme for Black History Month in 2025.
Welcome back to Capital Review. I'm Mark Hall. The Association for the Study of African American Life and History announced this year's theme for Black History Month. And joining us now is Cheyenne Daniels. She's the race and politics reporter for our media partners at The Hill. Cheyenne, welcome back to Capital Review.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Well, obviously Black History Month is underway. Talk about this year's theme.
Yes, absolutely. So this year's theme, which the Association for the Study of African American Life and History announced earlier this week, is Black Americans and labor, and really diving into the contributions of African Americans on our workforce and the individual stories and experiences that they bring to the table.
Talk about why Black History Month is so important today, tomorrow, and moving forward.
Yes, so Black History Month is really a time to understand the contributions Black Americans have made throughout the time that they were brought here in 1619 to today. And so it's being able to look and say, America wouldn't be America without all of the different ways that Black Americans have contributed to our culture, our economy, our politics, all of the things that make America America.
You talk about the contributions of Black Americans in this country, but Black History Month can also be an educational tool, a month-long learning experience. And Cheyenne, talk about how that learning experience can maybe explain why there's still some struggles, major struggles, in Black communities around the country, especially here in the district.
Yes, so what Black History Month offers us the chance to do is take a deep dive into why, after all this time, there are still a lot of disparities in health, education, employment, all of these different areas of life. And so it takes a deeper dive into what are the policies, what is the legislation that's been out there that is contributing to a lack of equality or equity, as many advocates want to point to now. And so it takes a moment, or it allows us to take a moment and say, what areas of focus do we still need to concentrate on to ensure that Black Americans have the same equities and freedoms as those who are not Black?
Do you remember when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was running for president? He was talking about removing books, in Florida schools that talked about the plight of Black Americans, or at least a negative plight. And he said that he wanted to remove those books because he didn't want majority communities or white communities to feel bad. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Yes, so there has been a lot of concern around the way Black history is being taught, in part because of attempts to ban or remove books that speak to the experiences, particularly the negative experiences of being Black in America. And so we saw there was a lot of pushback to these decisions, including, you remember, Florida was one of the places that said students had to learn about how perhaps Black Americans were part of the problem when it came to things like racial riots, right? Or saying that slavery was beneficial because it taught them certain skills. And so there's been a lot of pushback to attempts to limit or even how Black history is being taught, as many advocates, many authors and scholars are saying it is okay for us to look at the way that the American society has been detrimental and in some ways continues to be detrimental to Black Americans. That's the only way that we will enact change and achieve equity.
You talk about equity and change.
So again, just in the interest of time, I thought that was a very poignant video, and it just, again, goes to show talking about equity, inclusion, accessibility, diversity is so important, because not everyone is at the same level. And once again, I'm so appreciative of going to school here in the district, and my 10th grade's US history teacher, Mr. Jones, again, if you ever watch this, hello, but he really, put the point where there's so many different cultures, and it's so important for us to learn about the good and the bad and the sad and the happy and everything that happens with folks in history, so that we can have a better world view. Any quick thoughts on this video?
I just thought it was very pointed message. Somebody needs to let the president listen to this, because he wants to do away with Black History Month.
Yeah, we that's why we got to just talk about it more and more. So I appreciate,
we need to our kids need to know. They need to go back to start teaching history in the schools. They don't teach. They're not teaching anything in the schools, if you ask me right now. Because when we were in school, we had to learn all about history, and even back in the 60s, we were starting to learn about Black people being involved in different things. And so it just, it's just sad. It really is, because our kids are missing out on a lot.
Yeah, that's why we got to advocate. If we don't say anything, then, we just, one person can make a change. So I thank you so much for sharing, Anne. I really appreciate that. Yvonne, what do you say?
Yes, Alex, I was going to say that while some people are saying that the folks brought from Africa learn new skills, it's just the other way around. They brought so many skills to this country, having to do with agriculture, technology, and so many other areas. So they didn't come here and learn, but they brought skills that were unheard of before. And you think about the peanut with the gentleman who,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what we did with the peanuts and so many other areas, they brought skills. And so there was a great contribution, and built a lot of the monuments that we see in this city, and we had no idea a lot of them were built with slave labor.
Just like we learned about in some of our travel calls too. So it's the U.S. is kind of not alone in this regard. I think just the whole world just needs to be a little more equitable, and just understanding and just recognizing that these things did happen and how we can do better. But I love the way that you shared that. Yes. from wherever folks came from, they brought their skills and they used them to adapt to the situations that came across them. And that has definitely impacted our culture and economy and workforce, as the theme suggests. And I love that. So,
and I noted in the chat that Charlene Drew Jarvis served for many years on the city council here in DC, and she was the daughter of Dr. Charles Drew. She represented Ward 4 on the DC City Council.
Thank you so much for sharing, Yvonne. I really appreciate that. I just sent you a heart as a reaction. Thank you, Mr. Dave. I love all the pictures and images in the chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Our next app for today is African American Sites. So this mobile app will guide you through more than 2,000 landmarks, museums, trails, and other historic places throughout the United States. So you can go nationwide with this app. You're going to go to the App Store, again, on your phone, iPad, and you are going to hit the search button and search for the type of app or name of app that you would like to download. So African American Sites. Here's right here. Again, you can tap on it or type it in. African American Sites right here at the top left. So this is from the African American Heritage Preservation Foundation. Make sure you download it, check it out. I'm going to copy the link here and post it here in the chat for you all. But again, this all of these app links can be found in our daily email as well. Again, once you tap on it, it takes you straight to the app. So let's go into African American Sites. Love this app. I think it's so interesting. Yeah, more than 2,000 African American National Historical Landmarks, military sites, museums, heritage trails, and they can be viewed by category. So I love that. Here at the bottom, this is the toolbar, so you can access the different sections right here. Again, let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones in mind, okay? And when I hit tours, or even one of these images, I can just look at the images if I want. This is an image of Josiah Henson Museum Park in Rockville. Never heard of that. Here's Zion, hey Zion, Christian Cemetery here in Memphis, Tennessee. Yellow Sulphur Springs, Christiansburg, Virginia. Never heard of that town. Florence Avenue, Lansing, Michigan School. Alexander, hey, that's me. Lucius Twilight House, Brownington, Vermont. And you may see this. So again, make sure anytime you see some prompts that come up on the screen, you follow them through. So you can actually take a location tour as well. If you're around one of these tour locations, your app will notify you that has occurred. So make sure, again, you follow any of the prompts that you see. I'll share my screen in just a second. Okay. All right. Give me one moment. Again, making sure you follow through with the different prompts that come up on the screen. Just give me one moment. All right. Thank you. And anytime you see some prompts that come up on the screen, make sure you follow them through, either to close them or to follow them, okay? Let me go ahead and go back to the app that we were working on. Yeah, so this is the Alexander Lucius Twilight House in Brownington, Vermont, okay? Let me hit the X right here. And you know, sometimes with certain apps, they may unfortunately freeze, but we learned how to close an app and how to reopen it. So I'm gonna double click my home button. I'm going to close the app and then I'm going to reopen it and everything should be good to go. So if I hit tours, I can look at all the different tours. So just based on trails or places, museums or landmarks or monuments, I can hit the about section. So like their mission and goal for this app. So you can read more about it from here. Feedback, how the app works, you can donate, there's a disclaimer. But like this is really cool, state or territory. So look at that. I can look at any state Look at all these options here, right? One moment, let me go back to my screen share. Sometimes that happens, where the screen share just stops, but you go back in and try again. All right, so let me go back to the app and let's look through here. So we are in DC, so let's go to Washington, DC, and please unmute yourself and maybe share one that you'd like to visit based on the list. So take a look at the list. Again, I'm going through, which one would you like to visit? Look at all these different options here in DC, right? This is just DC. Which ones would you guys like to choose? Again, you guys can unmute yourselves as well. Look at all these options. I didn't know there was a Mount Zion Cemetery. Any choosers, any pickers? Where would you guys like to visit?
I'd like to go to that Ralph Bunche.
Yes, I was going to say Ralph Bunche House.
Yeah,
also.
house. Yeah, that looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I've been in the Lincoln Theater.
Okay, let's go to that one again. Sometimes the app freeze. You go back, and let's go to the Ralph Bunche House. So let's go there.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so let's take a look. So this was the residence of Dr. Ralph Bunche, the distinguished African-American diplomat and scholar from 41 to 47. This home was designed for him by Hilliard R. Robinson, never knew him, a noted Washington architect in international style. So you can read more about this residence. This is a private residence and now open to the public. And if you see some of the words and phrases are highlighted in blue, so if I click on that phrase, it actually takes me to a website just to kind of learn more. So this is a photograph. Look at this. This was in 1941. This is what it looked like. Wow. Yeah, he was an American political scientist, diplomat, scholar. He's remembered for his mediation in the Arab-Israeli conflict in Palestine. Oh, okay. That's so interesting. Who else would like to pick a place for us to visit?
Alex, I'd like to visit those, the schools, I think it said 1862 public schools. I think see how they look.
Let me see. Where did you see that at, Brenda?
It was on the on the left side.
Oh, public school buildings.
Yeah, public
of DC.
School buildings. Okay. 1862 to 1960.
Let's see. That's a good one. I didn't notice that one, Brenda. Okay. Two historical themes run throughout the history of DC's public schools. The most important is the separation of the races into separate schools, a practice that endured in the district until the Supreme Court in the US outlawed separate educational facilities in 54. Wow, so it hasn't even been a whole 100 years since that occurred. That's amazing. A second historical theme is the separation of the sexes, which endured in a limited form well into the 20th century. Many district residents recall their attendance at a racially segregated school. Former African-American schools are regarded today both as a source of pride and a reminder of past injustices. 3 DC public school buildings constructed for African Americans were placed in the National Register of Historic Places on July 25th, 2003. Wow. Again, and then it's sometimes, it's this app, may not have been updated in a minute, but that's okay. We're gonna go back here and I'm gonna click on that link just to see what happened with these schools, or those 3 particular schools that they mentioned. So 3 DC public schools. Okay, this is the National Park Service website. Oh, unfortunately that page isn't available, but I'm sure if you type in DC public school buildings history and here in Google, I'm sure you could find some information. So here, look, DC public school buildings, 62 to 60. Oh, there you go. See what a Google search did for us today, you guys. So look at that. Just I know it's a bunch of text, but public school significance. What is this? Wow. Just looking through some information. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for exploring that app together. I hope you take a look at some of the sites. I know we didn't check out some of these for other states, but that was quite interesting just to be able to look at different sites and learn about them and just see the U.S. just straight from your iPad. Okay.
And I wanted to say that Charles Sumner School, I know that's downtown, was the first school that integrated, I believe. And we might Google Charles Sumner, who was an abolitionist. And the Charles Sumner School is still standing. I don't know if it's actually still being used as a school or not, but it's there near the Lafayette Park.
Yes, I heard of that. That's definitely worth a Google search. So definitely check that out. Okay. Our next section is, well, in regards to that, really quickly, just to showcase it to you all, DC Public Library has several Black History Month sessions and events and information. So if you search DC Public Library Black History Month, you're able to find this webpage. So look at these upcoming events. So tomorrow, commemoration of the slaves who built the US Capitol. Hey, we learned about, or just talked about, like the different landmarks being created by slave labor, unfortunately, but again, it's so really cool just to be able to attend. This is at Lamont Riggs. There's a Bellevue's Black History Month film series for kids, but look at these different options. A Wrinkle in Time, Ellington Was Not a Street, Beautiful Shades of Brown, Shook, Ruby Bridges. I've never heard of any of those films, so that's really interesting. Here's one this coming Saturday, Getting Started with African American Genealogy, Black History Revealed. This is at MLK Library at 9:30 this coming Saturday. So look, it's adults and seniors. Art on the Fly. This is at Capitol View Library. This is for teens. Make a collage to celebrate you, ages 12 to 19. So there are so many different events here, even from DC Public Library. Here's a video as well you could watch, and here are some books for kids, books for teens, books for adults, exhibitions as well. So this is an amazing site. I hope you guys get to check out some of their events, okay? Did you all know that DC Public Library holds some of these events?
Alex, the young man who's going to conduct the genealogy presentation on Saturday is a member of my church. His name is Andrew Kern.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
the world is so small.
Yes, it was announced in church that if you want to research your family history and how to do genealogical research, this would be a wonderful workshop. I don't know if it's going to be online or whether you have to go in person. I'll send Andre Kern an email and ask him if they would show it online for those of us who can't get there in person.
Well, yes, I would definitely go to that event on the site, or just any event, and you can see the information about whether it's in person or online. So definitely utilize your DC Public Library apps, you guys, because that's where this information can be found as well. So yes, if I go in there, this looks to be this is an in-person presentation.
Oh, so there he is. Yes.
Yeah. So it looks to be just in person.
In person.
So, yeah. So make sure you use your apps and check out your info to learn more information. Okay. Here's the link to register. There's 21 seats remaining. So make sure you guys register if you'd like to attend that session. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, Yvonne. I really appreciate that. And the world is so small.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh. Did you guys know that there is a DC Black History official website? This is the Celebration Committee. And I love this PDF that they have here in this website. I'm gonna paste the link for you all as well. But this is just a guide. I think this is the most easiest to understand and look through guide for some of the events going on for Black History Month in DC. This is from them. They even give a little brief history of Black History Month right here. Really learned a lot from here about Ford and Woodson. But look at that, throughout March 1st, there are several events like the Negro Motorist Green Book and the Green Book in DC, a particular place for particular people. This an exhibition at MLK Library, Zenith Gallery. Never been there before, Wednesday through Saturday, 1429 Irish Street, Northwest. I know the zip code, but I've never been there before or heard of it. So definitely would love to research that. Throughout March 2nd, Smithsonian Institution Traveling Exhibit Service. Again, different events at DC Public Library. Let's go to February 5th. Today, Bus Boys and Poets, The Runners, Almanac and Seer. That's an event that's at 6 p.m. today. The organization that we just learned about today, ASALH, they have Association for the Study of African American Life and History, the Vice President's Black Wife, Julia Chin, and the Story of Black Women's Labor. Wow. This is a virtual presentation, so 6 o'clock tomorrow. That's when we start our movie, but it's on their channel, so you could take a view at it later on if you like as well. Look at all these, National Capital Parks East, walking in the steps of the Bookmen. So this is the Bethune Council House. We just talked about Bethune, right? Forest Theater, Written Then, Spoken Now, Freedom Was in Sight. Look at this, there's pages and pages of different events. So definitely check it out and attend some of these events as well to further celebrate Black History Month. Oh, I posted in the chat already. Okay, I hope that's also helpful. I love this guide. I love these different events. It's so diverse. There's so many different options. So make sure you check that website out, okay? For some of the other things they have. We are running a little low on time, so I'll probably speed up this video a little bit. But here are some Black inventors, again, that many of them I was not aware of. We did learn about Madam C.J. Walker, or talk about her, and she's very, very well known, but the majority of these I was not aware. So I hope you guys learned something new.
Did you know that dry cleaning was invented in 1821 by a black man named Thomas Jennings? Thomas Jennings owned a dry cleaning business in New York City and was the first black man in the United States to be granted a patent. Thomas L. Jennings was an African American tradesman and abolitionist in New York. He operated and owned a tailoring business. In 1821, he was one of the first African Americans to be granted a patent for his method of dry cleaning. Dr. Joseph Jackson holds 6 US patents for telecommunications and fertility prediction inventions. Jackson's first patent was for his contribution to a V-chip device that allowed users to block selected content on cable television. This type of technology is commonly used for parental controls. He also holds patent for the TV remote control devices. Granville T. Woods developed the railroad telegraph, a device that transmitted messages through static electricity between moving trains, telephone transmitter, railway system, subway system, roller coaster, and many more. Lonnie Johnson, the man who created the Super Soaker water gun, was awarded $73 million in unpaid royalties from giant toy maker Hasbro. Johnson, who founded the Atlanta-based company behind the Super Soaker, filed a lawsuit against Hasbro for underpaid royalties in the sales of the widely popular water gun, according to the AJC.com. Garrett Morgan invented a safety hood you put over your head to avoid inhaling smoke at standing height. Jesse Eugene Russell, inventor of the digital cell phone. Paul L. Downing, little known Black history fact. This man is named Paul L. Downing. He invented what every household uses today, the mailbox. Downing patented his mailbox on October 27, 1891, and called his invention a street letterbox. 1 year prior to inventing the mailbox, Downing patented an electrical switch that allowed railroad workers to turn on or off the power supply to trains at the necessary times. Downing's design for the railroad switch were used as inspiration for inventors who created residential electrical switches. The street letter drop mailbox with a hinged door that closed to protect the mail was invented by Philip B. Downing. Downing, an African-American inventor, patented his new device on October 27, 1891. Marie Van Britten Brown was an American inventor. She was the inventor of the home security system in 1966, along with her husband, Albert Brown. In the same year, they jointly applied for a patent, which was granted in 1969. The invention was basically the first closed-circuit television security system and is predecessor to the modern home systems today. It led to the foundation for video monitoring, remote-controlled door locks, push-button alarm triggers, instant messaging to security providers and police, as well as two-way voice communication. The fame of Brown's device also led to the more prevalent CCTV surveillance in public areas, according to a 2016 New Scientist report. 100 million concealed closed-circuit cameras are now in operation worldwide.
Yes, again, in the interest of time, please make sure you search Black inventors on YouTube, literally search that phrase, Black history, Black inventors, and you can see more inventors that you may have not known about. If you learned about a new inventor with just the few minutes that we watched this video, please raise your hand in Zoom, okay? Again, if you learn about a new inventor, if you enjoyed, if you learned something new in this video, please raise your hand in Zoom. But certainly the 73 million for the unpaid royalties, that's amazing. Always got to make sure, you know, you patent copyright your stuff, you know. I think that's one lesson that I see from the video. So but hey, I'm so happy, you know, you got his due diligence, what he's worth, etc. The dry cleaning, remote parental controls, the things that we utilize on a daily basis. I mean, without this, without these inventions, without these people, you know, America would be much different. But as you can see, without them, we would not be, you know, they have a major impact on our culture and our society today. So thank you. I really appreciate the hands, you guys, and I hope you learned something new. And our last app for today is called Bet You Didn't Know. So did you like learning about amazing people? Well, on this app, you can learn more about important African Americans and their contributions to society. And she actually has different podcasts too. So you'll be able to see that here in the app. So this, go to the App Store like usual, or go to the daily email and type in the name or type of app that you would like to learn more about. So this is called Betcha Didn't Know. All right, and it's right here at the top right-hand side. Make sure you download the app, check it out. I'm going to post it here in the Zoom chat. Okay, but wow, again, those facts. I definitely wanted to watch more of that video again, just to keep learning more. But let's open this app, Bet You Didn't Know. Okay, and make sure that when you're in the menu section right here, that if your iPad's horizontal, it'll appear on the left-hand side. If your iPad is vertical, you have to hit that box icon at the top left to access some of these. So this is more information. So this one, let's pick Marie Van Britten Brown. When you click on any person and close the menu, you can fully see information about them. So look, this person who created the app, they learned more about many different folks right here. And you can choose one and learn more about them. So any takers for which one you want to learn more about? Again, just looking through any takers or any names or any persons that you recognize. There's Toni Morrison. Let's see. Any takers? Anyone you guys would like to go into a little bit more? Diane Durham, never heard of that name. Rita Dove. Okay.
Wilma Rudolph.
You said Wilma
Rudolph.
Say that again?
Wilma Rudolph.
Okay.
She was in sports.
Okay, where were they at on this list? Oh, right here.
Yeah, right
Okay,
there.
Wilma. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. Let me close the menu. And look, I bet you didn't know about Wilma Rudolph. And there's a quote
Yeah.
right here too.
Mhm.
1940, St. Bethlehem, Tennessee, first American woman to win 3 gold medals in track and
Mhm.
field at a single Olympics.
Yeah.
She's the 20th of 22 children. Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize it was that many.
She had to deal with double pneumonia, scarlet fever, polio. She had problems with legs. She had to wear a brace. She grew up in segregation. She played on the basketball team. Wow, so she had a life even at that young age, just to survive and to keep going and to win all these medals. That's amazing.
Yeah.
If I could ask Miss Wilma one question, I would ask, how fast can you run? What do you think is the most important drill to help increase speed? And the quote that I like from her is, winning is great, sure, but if you're really going to do something in life, the secret is learning how to lose. If you can pick up after a crushing defeat and go on to win again, you are going to be a champion someday. I love that. And
Yes,
check
I
it
like
out.
the fact, yeah, she graduated from Tennessee State University, which was my husband's alma mater, Tennessee State.
Mhm. Amazing. Yeah. And if you look at the bottom of each of the bios for these persons, it says listen on Apple Podcasts. So she actually has podcasts that you can listen to right here. So there are many different options. This is just the one on Wilma Rudolph. And if you click on the actual name, you can see she has 3 seasons. So if you want to take a second in the morning to just listen and learn more about someone here in Black History, but not just in Black History Month. It's all different months. Check out some of her episodes. Look at that. Season 1, all episodes, and just learning more. Shirley Chisholm, that one's, I would listen to that one. There's Wilma Rudolph. So look for hers, you can play it and just listen to more. So if you play this one.
Hello everyone, I am Amari Robinson.
Yeah, about 5 minutes. So they're really quick and easy listens. But with this app, you can read about the bio, you can listen on the podcast app as well. And I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks so much for going over these apps together. And I really appreciate your participation today, you guys. So what is one new fact that you learned today? What apps are you interested in trying out and why? How have Black artists, musicians, writers, inventors, people have influenced mainstream culture? And/or why do you think learning and embracing Black History Month is important? So any general thoughts, any comments for the session today, what you liked? I hope you guys, the apps and, they're quite simple to access, but very fun. I learned quite a bit in those minutes that we did that together, and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun today. It's not too much, but just several aspects of Black History Month that I wanted to kind of go into more than our session last year. I loved our session last year as well. This one, just learning more. So I really appreciate you all participating. Again, please raise your hand if you have any thoughts or comments on the session today, or if you'd like to answer any of these questions as well. Okay, Anne, looking forward to some other hands as well. I hope you enjoyed the session today. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, I'm a history buff, so I like all kinds of history, but I think that we need to know that there are a lot of Black people that have invented stuff that we use every day that we have no idea where they came from. And it's important for our children and for us as adults to know things. I learned a couple of things today that I wasn't quite sure of. But I'm going to use all these apps. I'm going to get into that. And I hope that you'll do something else on Black History this month. Maybe you could go back to one of these apps and we could do a session on it, learning more about the history of some of these people. But thank you for allowing me to share. And like I said, they were all interesting. Thank you.
My pleasure, Anne. Thank you so much. I'll do my best to also have another session kind of like this, okay?
Okay.
Any other thoughts? You guys can unmute yourselves if you like. Just any general thoughts, what you thought of the session today. Anything new that you learned, anything that was shocking to you? Again, I learned quite a bit. I'm very shocked, and I think many, many more people should know, be aware of like where we came from, history, things of that nature. So my heart is very full today.
Well, I learned a few things too, but on the fourth one, why do you think learning and embracing Black History Month is important? A lot of us as Blacks, we don't know that we have made a great contribution to the growth of this country. And
the world.
Very good for us to teach our children. You know, you got a reason to hold your head high and stick your chest out. You don't have to hold your head down, because without us,
yes,
this country wouldn't be what it is, because this country was built on our backs. And I take pride every time I learn something new about somebody that has done something that I wasn't aware of. From the music gentry to you just go across the board.
Across the board.
People that have made such great contributions to the history of this country that it should be a Black History Month, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
yes.
That's it.
I love it. America was built by so many different persons and cultures in different ways, by many underrepresented cultures and people. So I love having Black History Month, Asian American Pacific Islander Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. It's so important to talk about and embrace and learn about the different cultures, and especially we're in DC. We're such a melting pot of a city. So I think it's just in everyone's best interest to learn about different people so we can connect and understand and learn from each other. So thank you again for your comments. Yvonne, I see you have your hand. Yes, and then we'll hear from Denise. Yvonne, what would you like to share?
Alex, I think as a people, we have done well, Blacks that is, we've done well to absorb the history of this country. And we have certainly, maybe we need to do more in terms of acquainting ourselves with our own history, because artists, musicians, and writers have certainly been at the heart of the culture of this country and have influenced so many artists who now admit that they built their careers and their crafts on the influence of people of color. And I like to watch Wheel of Fortune on television, and I see why people of color do so well on that show. Because the bonus prize is either you have to figure out a phrase, a person, or an event. And it seems as if people of color often come out as the winner, because we have become acquainted and contributed to different writers, persons, and events. And I just like to see the majority culture become and familiarize itself and not be afraid to become acquainted with the history of people of color. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, thank you so much, Yvonne. The more that you know and the more cultured you are, the more diverse your mind is and your thinking and your learning and your ideas and knowledge, the more it helps you in your daily life. So yes, I love that idea as well, to learn more. Thank you, Denise, for sharing and participating.
Yeah, hey. I just wanted to say about the Black History Month. I don't really care about that, because in my opinion, it's my opinion now, I feel as though history is every day. And if we want to know, we can just go and look up history or invention people have done in life. It shouldn't be pointed out as February, okay, it's Black History Month now. No, that shouldn't have to be. It should be every month, every day. whenever you want to read up on someone that invented something or something they done important, just go read it. And the Black History Month, why is that like, okay, we're giving y'all a month to be recognized? No, we recognize every day, every month. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, I think we've definitely mentioned that idea throughout the session today, and certainly for all of the different months that we try to represent. It's all about underrepresented cultures and just having that time to really talk about the things that occurred in the past and what are occurring now. So yes, every day, Denise, I'd love for you to check out a new adventure every day and share it, on your calls with the seniors. Check it out every single day, and that's everyone should do it. If everyone looked up something like that every single day, we would again just be in a more understanding place. So definitely keep sharing that idea. But the basis of it being in February is because many of the most influential figures in Black history, their birthday was this month, so that's why it was chosen. But yes, for any month or anything, it's up to you. You choose when to celebrate it. If a month, I would say, is not better than nothing, but yes, it's definitely better than nothing, and it gives the foundation for a year-long celebration. So definitely embrace it every day, like everyone should. It's really important for us to be able to recognize different people. So I really appreciate your thoughts today, Ms.
Thank you for letting me share.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. This was a very, very important and very poignant session today. And again, I hope you guys learned something new. I myself am not Black, so of course I am just looking at from that perspective. But I grew up, really I learned how to survive and really just adapt to this world by a Black woman. I would not be here without some of my friends I have today as well. And just showcasing that love from certain folks is so important. And it just it really inspired me to especially have this session, of course, during Black History Month, but to always embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout my life. So it's really was a pleasure to present this. I hope I did the best that I could for this session today, but always it's really important to explore more about your history, about others' history, about our nation's history, about the world's history. And I really appreciate that, you guys, for joining us today. And please share this session, this info with others, with your community, to be able to share this words of wisdom with others. We have our 12 o'clock session today on Yellowstone National Park. Really looking forward to that. And our module with Jordan and an intro to your iPad. So module 1 at 1:30. Thank you guys so much. I will see you all in about 12, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for participating.
Thank
Hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you, Alex. Very, very informative.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank
Alex.
you.
Thank
I
you.
hope I did this session justice today.
Oh yeah, you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys did amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.